there, Megateers. I'm here with the lovely Anna Aesthetic. Anna Aesthetic.
Anna Aesthetic.
Okay, I said it right the first
You did.
time. All right.
It's okay. I don't know how to pronounce my own stage name, and I've had it since 2005.
When did you? Why Anna Aesthetic?
Well, so I started in 2005. I started working in television news, and I figured I can't really have my real name associated with cosplay. That might be a little taboo. So I decided I wanted a name, and at the time I was like still into really goth, like I was super gothy, like I was DJing at a goth club, and I was like, yeah, I want to be like some cool like goth chick. And then I was like, my boyfriend at the time was like, well, how about you're obsessed with Marie Antoinette, so why don't you be like Anna and then like aesthetic, because you have all these like things that you're upset, like the beauty, like the aesthetics. Well, then I found out later like Anna Aesthetic is also a term for anorexia. Like there's an anorexia group and that's what they go by, and I felt really bad because I'm like, I don't want to promote that. So, but the name is kind of stuck with me, and I'm like, and now of course all my journalist colleagues know what I do, and they're just like, either they think it's really cool or like whatever, she does that on the weekends. And so now I'm trying to go back to Meredith, but everyone knows me as Anna, and it's cool. I mean, I'll just be that girl with multiple personalities.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the people who go to this con, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're accepting of everyone.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. So, cosplaying, I know you've been doing it for a while, 2005?
Actually, I started cosplaying in 1999.
1999.
Yes.
Wow, what was your first cosplay?
Well, I was 18 and I didn't know how to sew because we don't have the resources like we do today. I commissioned a costume, and it was Luna from Lunar Silver Star Story. And it was fun, and I loved wearing it, but the experience was so good that I wanted to learn how to sew. So the following year, I went home for Christmas break, and I went to my mom, and I was like, so Mom, can you help me make some stuff? She's like, oh yeah, you want to learn to sew? That's awesome, I'll teach you. And so I showed her a picture of Dagger from Final Fantasy IX and Kamikaze Saint Tail from an older Magical Girl series. And I was like, can we make these? And she looks at them, and she's like, Halloween was 4 months ago. And I'm like, oh, well, so I do this thing and I go to these conventions. And she shook her head. She's like, well, whatever, I'll teach you. And so she helped me make my first 2 costumes. And then for Christmas, she surprised me with a sewing machine. And it's been nonstop since then.
Aww.
8 sewing machines later.
8 sewing machines.
Yeah.
I
currently own 4 machines. So,
oh gosh.
Yeah.
I think you need all of them, actually.
Yeah, it's like serger, embroidery machine, industrial sewing machine, regular sewing machine. Yeah.
What has been your hardest cosplay to make?
I would have to say Queen Esther. Last year I entered the World Cosplay Summit at KatsuCon, and me and my partner Rosa did Trinity Blood, and she did Seth Nightrod, and I did Queen Esther, and it was the white dress. There was 1,000 glass pearls, 3,000 Swarovski crystals, hand sewn or glued onto that dress. It was probably about 6 months of construction, in which I should have taken a year to make it. And because being obsessed with historical costuming, I wanted to make sure all the foundation garments were accurate to the period. So I actually spent more time on the underneath garments that nobody sees than I did on the dress.
Oh gosh. How much research do you usually do for your cosplays?
For something like that, that was actually, Queen Esther was one of my dream costumes, and it's actually based off of Queen Elizabeth's coronation gown. And when I first had seen Trinity Blood, it was something I was obsessed with. So that is probably 7 years of research going into that costume, because it was something I always wanted to do. That being said, sometimes if it's like a newer series, I don't like to rush things. I don't, like if I see like a preview for a costume, I don't want to be like, oh, I'd rather be first to get it. I'd rather wait till like I get good references.
Mm-hmm.
But I do try to like at least put a good 20 hours of research to get like, front, back, side shots. If there's figures, I'll drop the money on figures, because I'm not a figure collector anyways. And so I really like to make sure I know every little detail, and I write it out I make like spec sheets, and I'll have like, turnarounds, and I'll like write down every little aspect that I need to make, just so, I don't mess up.
Well, I imagine you would have to be very intricate and take into a lot of details.
Yeah, I think it's also because I'm neurotic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
I think it's really, a lot of my friends don't cosplay that way. I do because I'm super neurotic, so.
Well, it works for you.
It does.
Do some really beautiful cosplays.
Thank you. I know, actually, I feel terrible. I was going to come and cosplay for my interviews, but I have a funny story and a pro tip at the end of this. So I've been traveling a lot for the past 2 weeks. I've been between work and personal reasons. I've been around the whole country now. I know. I actually flew in from Los Angeles for the convention, and then I have to go home and head north to North Carolina. But Luckily, my friends were driving in from Atlanta to, set up like booth and everything, and they were bringing my costumes. And I had slated to wear one of my favorite costumes, which is Miranda from Mass Effect. And the costume had been out on my bed because they were going to pack it for me. And I guess my cat was really unhappy about the fact I've been gone. So I don't know how they didn't notice that the costume smelled like cat pee, but I pulled it out of the bin today and I was like, that is not con funk, that is cat pee. So I'm like, I think I'm not going to go I'm not going to be that person that wears the terribly smelly costume. I hope everyone's okay with me in jeans and a Mass Effect t-shirt or tank top.
That's totally okay.
Yeah, but I will say this, if a cat, because I have cats and they do have accidents, if you ever have cat urine on a costume, especially spandex, water and white vinegar will get the smell of cat urine out.
Vinegar is a god.
It's a god. I'm like, you can make salad dressing and you can remove cat pee.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
There you go. See, I learned she's a Whataburger fan and she knows how to use vinegar. Okay, so I'm going to end the interview with one more question. And I have to ask, what has been your favorite cosplay to see here?
Oh my gosh. So probably, this is tough because I was at a judging cosplay contest last night. It's actually, there's two that I really liked. One was a guy who did a creature from Dead Space. He was a necromorph, and it was, I guess, his first like latex cast, and I love Dead Space. This is just one of the creepiest games. And I just was so impressed with that. And then probably one of my personal favorite costumes, and she actually got my judge's award, was a girl who did an absolutely stunning Princess Serenity from Sailor Moon, and she had like just extra little detail, like all these beadings, and just, I mean, this is something like only a seamstress would know, but she had obviously cut the dress on the bias, which is the angle of the fabric, and it had this just beautiful drape that a lot of people don't do, and it just, I don't know, she looked like she stepped out of the manga.
It was very pretty.
Yeah.
I was actually there filming it. She looked gorgeous.
I know, and she had the right attitude and everything, and she was so, I don't know, she was so cute.
Maybe you saw a little bit of you in her.
I hope
she was
so.
like,
I know. It's like, I get it. I understand Princess Serenity.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I know you're super busy, so go out and go buy yourself some more water.
Yes, I'm going to give you a honey butter chicken biscuit.
Yes. All right.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah.